And so as an important objective of conferences like this, one of the central missions of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Canada, and specifically here in Montreal, is to stimulate these types of bilateral, multilateral relations between Italy and Quebec. I would like to invite now, who's joining us virtually, maybe we can bring it up on screen, Ms. Catalano to present the EU Co-Finance Collaborative Initiatives. So please join me in welcoming Valeria Catalano, Market Development Officer at the EU Agency for the Space Program, who is with us online today.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. And thanks for the opportunity you gave me to present the agencies and the activities. I hear some echo. I don't know what to do.
Maybe we the volume in the room a little bit.
Yes. Because I can see that there are two monitors with me. Probably if you turn off one. Okay. Okay, now it's better. No, but okay. I will try to present. So thanks a lot. My name is Valeria Catalano. I'm working at the European Union Agency for the Space Program. My agency is located in Prague. It's an agency of the European Union. And if you can share my presentation, I can start. Voila. Perfect. So thanks a lot. So you can go to second slide. As I was saying, the agency is an agency of the European Union. It's EUSPA, the EU Agency for the Space Program. We are located in Prague, Czech Republic. We are in charge of many space programs. In particular, we are in charge of EGNOS and Galileo, but also Copernicus, GovSatcom, and since July 2023, also SST. We have many responsibilities. We are the exploitation manager of EGNOS and Galileo. We are, and for this, we are responsible for the continuous provision of services. We are responsible for the operation, for the maintenance, the improvements, and the evolution of this GNSS system. We are in charge of security activities. The security activities are more transversal to all the space program. So we are in charge of the security activities for not only for Galileo and EGNOS, but also for GovSatcom and Copernicus. And we are in charge of the market and the innovation. Me personally, I'm working in the market downstream department, where our main objective is to foster the use of the space program, so develop application and services using space data. Next slide, please. So as I was saying, we are in charge of the EUSpace program. In particular, you probably know better than me that which are these space programs. EGNOS is the GNSS system that makes the navigation signal more accurate. So it is a GNSS system that is used for safety and critical applications like the aviation, and it is operational in more than 400 airports in Europe. Then there is Galileo. Galileo is the European GNSS system, and that is operational, for example, in more than 3 billion receivers worldwide. Then we have Copernicus. Copernicus is another important EU space program. It's the Earth observation program. It's the number one world provider of space data. Then we are in charge of GovSatcom, that is the secure satellite communications for EU governmental actors, and we are in charge of, since July 2023, also of space situational awareness, that is the program for the space surveillance and tracking, for the monitoring of space weather events and near Earth orbit. As I was saying, if you can go to next slide. I'm working in the market downstream and innovation department, where our main objective is to foster the use of space data, developing application and technology. So we have our activities are organized in 17 market segments, like, for example, aviation, road, maritime, but consumer solution. And all our activities are transversal to these market segments, and are based on three important pillars. The first one is the market and user knowledge, where we monitor the market, the GNSS, Earth observation, and also SATCOM market and technology. We are in contact with users, and we have an important tool that is the user consultation platform, where we try to understand the user needs, and then we transform these needs in requirements. Another important pillar is the demand support, where we, as you can understand, we support the users, and so we participate and we exchange with the users via forum, via meetings, and so on. And then we have another important pillar, that is the offer creation. Under the offer creation, we have all the R&D activities. If you can go to next slide, please. Within this third pillar, demand support, we manage different R&D tools. The most important one is Horizon Europe. Horizon Europe is the program that has been delegated by European Commission for the space downstream activities, and it is the program that has main objective to develop applications and services using space data. We have a second important R&D program, that is the fundamental element, that is complementary to Horizon Europe, because fundamental element has as main objective the development of GNSS technology, downstream technology, like receivers, chipset, antenna, and etc. Third important R&D program is Cassini. Cassini is another initiative that has been delegated to EUSPA for the downstream, that support SME startups. Next slide, please. So I will start presenting for Horizon Europe. So next slide, please. Horizon Europe is a very important program that was launched in 2021 as continuation of Horizon 2020. It is delegated to EUSPA for the downstream, and under Horizon Europe, we launch every year calls. Also this year, in November 2023, so in this month, we launched the third Horizon Europe call. This is an open call that has a deadline 14 of February 2024. Under this call, there are many topics that have been delegated to EUSPA that you will see in this slide. There is one topic that is EGNSS transition towards a green, smart, and more secure post-pandemic society. That has a budget of 3.5 million. This is an innovation action, but what does it mean, innovation action? It means that the co-funding rate for the applicants is 30%. So 70% is funded by EUSPA and the European Commission, 30 should be co-funded by beneficiaries. This is a call that is focused on EGNSS, and applicants can propose a solution that improves the quality of life in many areas, like, for example, energy efficiency, efficient mobility, green digital transition of construction industry, and so on. But if you searching in the EUSPA website or in the funding and tender portal of the European Commission, you will find more detailed information on this call and also the following ones. Second call is another EGNSS call that is closing the gap in mature, regulated and long lead markets, and there's a budget of 8 million. Also, this is an innovation action. And applicant can propose solutions in the typical mobility sector, like rail, aviation, maritime, and road. There is a third topic that is a RIA. RIA means Research and Innovation Action, and in case of a RIA action, the co-funding is 100%. The funding by European Union, European Commission, and the EUSPA is 100%. So all the budget is funded by EUSPA. This is a call that is called Copernicus-based application for businesses and policies making, and this call has the objective to foster the uptake of Copernicus, considering the different Copernicus services like emergency, security, marine, climate change, land, and atmosphere service. This call has an important budget as well, 7 million. Then there is another one important call that is EU GovSatcom for a safer and more secure European Union. This is a call, is another innovation action, has a budget of 10 million, where the applicant can develop use cases in the area of surveillance, crisis management, and key infrastructure. But then there is a last topic that I think is the most interesting for you, that is this RIA, designing a space-based downstream application with international partners. So this this topic has a budget of 6 million. If you can go to next slide. So this call has the main objective to foster the use of Copernicus and EGNSS outside Europe. So this call, I think, is interesting for you, because many entities that are based in Canada can apply to this call. It is important to say that in the case of this call, can participate partner from a country that have signed a Copernicus cooperation arrangement, and Canada has signed a Copernicus arrangement. Copernicus cooperation arrangement, so all the entities that are located in Canada can apply to this call. Applicants can propose a solution for the use of EGNSS, for the use of Copernicus, but also for the combined use of both programs. If you can go to next slide. So, the expected EU contribution per project is between 0.8 million and 1 million. So applicant can propose solution with this budget, while the total indicative budget of the entire call for international partners is 6 million. I repeat, it's a research and innovation actions, so this means that is funded, the funding rate is 100%. And as I was saying, it is very important that entities established in countries that have signed an cooperative agreement on Copernicus data can apply to this call. There is in this slide the list of countries, and if you go to next slide, I can say I can say that the European Commission and the Canadian Space Agency, they signed this Copernicus arrangement on 16 May 2022. So for this reason, all the entities that are located in Canada can apply to this call. It is important that they create a consortium. Go to next slide. And if you want to have information on our website, that are available in our website on the projects that have been up to now funded, you can consult our website. You will see the list of projects that are ongoing with the participant. This could be an important information for you in case you want to enter in contact with possible partners. If you go to next slide, I told you that you can go to next one. The other important fundamental element program is fundamental element, but in this period we don't have open calls on fundamental element. Next slide, please. So I cannot present any new call. Also for fundamental element, we have a catalog of projects that are ongoing that you can consult. It's available in our website. And new calls will be always announced in our website. So constantly check our website. Then next slide. Almost arrived to the conclusion of the presentation. The last initiative, R&D initiative that I want to present is Cassini. Cassini is the program of an initiative of European Commission that intends to support entrepreneurs, startups, and SME in the space industry. This initiative is open to all space program and covers the upstream and the downstream, but the downstream has been delegated to EUSPA. So if you can go to next slide. Cassini has many elements in order to support the startups and SME. So there is the Cassini Business Accelerator that will offer entrepreneurs qualified business development support to develop go-to-market plans and sales methods to expand the business networks. Then we have another important element that is the matchmaking that intends to support the startup and other companies to their ability to attract venture capital funding and create industrial partnership. Then we have InvestEU, that is a tool that support in having adding new capitals to venture capitalist funds that should be invested in EU-based space companies. We have the other important element that are the Cassini prizes and the hackathons. If you go to next slide, it's currently open a Cassini prize, that is this Cassini challenges. It's open for submission, and it is focused on developing new innovative solutions for all the space program, and it is Cassini challenges is based in 3 tracks that the first one goes from ideation, second one is related to product development, and third one is related to the commercialization. The prize pool is around 1 million, and also in this case you will find more detailed information in EUSPA website or following the link that is in the slide, CassiniChallenges.eu. This is the last slide. So I hope I gave you important information in order to apply to our calls. And most important, the most important is of course the call Horizon Europe related to international partners.
Thank you very much, Ms. Catalano. Not sure you were able to see the room, but the number of pictures that were being taken every time you were mentioning an open call was significant. So you might have a spike in applications.
I'm happy for this. Mm-hmm. And of course, if you want to contact me, I can reply to any questions in case you want to submit the proposals. You have my email and you can distribute to the audience.
Amazing. Thank you for that consent, and we'll make sure to distribute it to the participants. Thank you again, Ms. Catalano. To tie into the important topic of financing and financing collaborations, these go from the European Union, but also to opportunities here in Canada. So I would like to welcome on the stage Bernard Duval, Senior Advisor at Future Networks at Mitacs, to talk to us about financing collaborations.
Bonjour à tout le monde. Je vais prendre quelques secondes pour comprendre la technologie. Excellent. Donc, je peux commencer. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, I will say a few words in French for those speaking French in the audience. Donc, mon nom, c'est Bernard Duval. Je travaille pour Mitacs. Mitacs est un organisme à but non lucratif qui finance les projets d'innovation partout au Canada. Simplement, notre mission, c'est de promouvoir l'innovation pour les entreprises et on les fait travailler avec le milieu académique. Now I'll switch to English, mais ceux qui veulent me parler en français, ça va me faire plaisir. Merci. Donc, I'll talk to you about Mitacs. It's a not-for-profit organization based in Canada. We cover the entire country. And our main mission is to promote innovation. And with whom we're working? Well, we work with the academic ecosystem, the industry, municipalities, and hospitals. So first, I'd like to thank our funding partners. Mitacs is funded by the federal government, all provinces, and the Yukon territory. Merci à nos bailleurs de fonds. J'essaie de le faire dans le dos, mais ça ne fonctionne pas. So a few words, a few numbers about Mitacs. For the current period of 5 years, Mitacs is having $1.4 billion Canadian dollars, unfortunately. Half of it is coming from the federal government, so we're fully funded to undertake any interesting collaborative research projects. In the last, in the ongoing timing, we have 85,000 internships to deliver. So as you understood, when I talk about collaborative research projects, we mainly invest in students. So we have 50 agreements with international partners. That means about 25 countries who are the partners, mainly universities and governments. We have 97 agreements with partners in the Canadian ecosystem. In the case of this conference, that means we're connected with the entire AI ecosystem and aerospace ecosystem as well. We work with over 8,000 companies, Canadian companies, but foreign ones as well. In the last 10 years, I mentioned 1.4 million in terms of funding for the existing 5 years, but the previous 10 years, we had 800 million invested in innovation in Canada. So Mitacs is growing rapidly. So when I mention academic partners, who are they? Well, it's all universities across Canada. So my job is to connect with the industrial partners, the company, the governments, and so on. My colleagues, their job is to connect with the researchers. Their office, their main desk, is in the research office of universities. So depending on the size of the universities, I have one or more colleagues connecting every day with researchers and with their research and grants office. So that's why I can say when I meet industry players, we have access to Canada's top space, earth, aerospace researchers. Same with AI, quantum, cybersecurity, social innovation, but actually it's all disciplines from all universities we are supporting. On the other side, we have the industry, the partners. So for today conference, Ivado, the incredible partner of Mitacs, we've been working together since their inception. We also work with, Ericsson, I work personally with them. They have a huge research facility in Montreal called Gaia. VMware, who actually came to Mitacs and the federal government to establish a research office in Montreal also. Samsung has two. In Montreal, they have research office all across the country. So we can support the industry and build collaboration. Microsoft as well. Yesterday, there was Dr. Abdo, who presented twice. His company is Humanitas. We work very closely with Dr. Abdo as well. On the space side, we work with with CSA, the space agency, Thales, MDA. Of course, I use big names because most of people will recognize them. But keep in mind that we work with hundreds of small businesses, SMEs. Their names are not known to the public or the ecosystem, but they're very creative and very effective. So we work with SMEs, startups, and professor who creates new companies. And also CAE, Pratt & Whitney, Lockheed, and so many more. I already mentioned about the AI ecosystem. If you can read all the names there, AI ecosystem is very strong in Canada. My colleague Lilia Jemai, if you want to discuss initiatives with Canada, Lilia would be part of the discussion. Her job is to connect with the Canadian ecosystem. Her job is to really promote AI in all sectors across the country. In aerospace, we have Oliviero, is my other colleague. His job is to really focus on aerospace. He knows everybody in the field across the country. And what's interesting, when it comes to technology, the leaders of Mitacs, most of them are based in Montreal. So, for example, my role, that was mentioned in the introduction, I focus on connectivity. So quantum communication, 5G, 6G, all names and important when you talk about space, because satellites are very, very important to me, right? So we can connect with incubators, companies, and of course, researchers. Mitacs is involved at all stages of innovation. From the ideas, we can brainstorm on initiatives, research ideas, prototype, validation. Of course, we will invite the companies to use Mitacs funding to have students to perform those jobs. And why? Because we want to develop talent. The industry needs top talent for tomorrow's jobs. So that's why we invest so much money in talent and internships. We can also support production, deployment, and then repeat, right? Evolution, innovation is a constant evolution. But the big question is, Bernard is mentioning $1.4 billion. How is it working, right? So very simple. You see the small square there? I call it the Mitacs unit. What you need is a student, a supervisor or professor from a university, and a company. The company can be a not-for-profit, can be a municipality, an hospital, but usually it's a private company. That puts in $7,500. So we receive $7,500 from a company, and then we give $15,000 to the university, and then they manage, they supervise the student. The student receives between $10,000 and $15,000 for a 4 months internship to work on your challenge, on your problems, supervised by an expert professor. So that's the unit, that's the basic of it. But the student can do 2 years of internship, can do a full master on your project during 2 years, can continue doing his PhD on the same initiatives, and then do a postdoc, and so on. You can have 1,000 students on one project. You can build a consortium of companies and organizations. You can have one company, you can have 10, doesn't matter. So I do supervise projects worth $15,000. Some others are $5 million, but they're all the same in terms of importance. It really depends on the problem you want to tackle. And also you can have multiple institutions, so many universities involved in a project. So I want to give you an example. Let's say you invest $30,000. Mitacs will put in $30,000. The research project will be $60,000. So if the intention is really to have students to work on your challenge, that would be a great solution, the Mitacs only application. But we also work with the Natural Science Engineering Research Council of Canada, that we call NSERC. And for the same construct, the same $30,000, they will put in $60,000. So some might say, why we don't use the second one? It's more interesting. Well, if you need equipment, major investment in a lab and so on, that's interesting. But it's more complicated to submit, but still, most of my projects are joint application with NSERC, because we need to buy equipment, computers, and so on. We need to have students to travel also between many countries. In our case, could be a great collaboration between Italy and Canada, and have the students to move to travel and meet great people and conduct their research. So that's a figure, but it could be a $5 million investment from the industry. Mitacs will chip in $5 million and then a $10 million from insert. Again, what's important is the challenge, the problem you want to fix. We also have international programs without the industry, but in a way the industry is still involved. Let's say you have students who want to develop some expertise. They work with their professor, and they say, hey, I'd like to go in Italy. I was at this great conference. I made great connections, but I need the money to travel and deliver some task during my PhD. So we have funding for this as well. Right now, there's a specific program where Mitacs is paying for both Canadian and foreign students to come here. So the goal is really to create collaboration. So Mitacs is paying for Canadian and foreign to work on quantum initiatives. So quantum right now is very important in communication. By the way, last week, Quebec launched a quantum testbed in Montreal. It will connect 3 cities in Quebec. It's very innovative. So that, I guess, would be very interesting for all the telecom and communication sector. That's the last slide, but I think that's the most important one. I want to send you a challenge. I mean, we have the capacity in terms of researcher. We have great universities, great students, great companies on both sides. So I'm sending you a few challenges. Let's brainstorm here. It would be great to have Italy-Canada University Cooperation. I mean, we have all the tools to do it. Let's connect together and make this happen. So let's choose some topics in AI, space, aerospace, humanities, draft them on a board, and let's connect the students and have them work on these challenges. Connectivity and technology is also very important. There was a great presentation yesterday. Actually, I was convinced that AI in space and space as a whole will save the world. So let's do it. Let's invest. Let's connect. So Italy, Canada, Deep Tech, CTO, I came up with that last night. Why not having CTOs of the big names that were here yesterday, but to meet together? So really the scientists all together meeting with talents, with students, talking about the real things, meaning technology, the findings, and so on. My previous presenter had funding to work on the UN 17 SDGs goals. Let's work on these initiatives. There's plenty of interest from the students. That's what they want to work on. So let's work together. Alors, un gros merci. I switched too fast. The last one is, we're open for ideas. We is Canada, is myself, my colleagues. Let's brainstorm, let's connect. Merci beaucoup.
Donc, merci, Monsieur Duval. I'm sure that you will be getting a lot of questions as soon as we step outside on whether the funding applies for Italian corporations who are looking to do projects, perhaps in Canada. So that's something that we've been hearing or being asked quite a bit. We are now at the end of this first morning session. As I said, the rest of the morning has 3 components remaining. The first one is the ever-important coffee break or health break, which is starting now. Our startups are all still outside, eager to meet you, so please feel free to go and talk to them. After that, we will be splitting into 2 working groups. First one, which, however, is by invite only, is on sustainability and AI, obviously in the framework of space economy. And the discussion in this group will revolve around the use of innovative tools to mitigate the impact of climate change and improve sustainability in various sectors. So a bit of a tie to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And this group will meet in room Mansfield 5. The second group, which everybody's welcome to join actually, is a working group on building territorial innovation ecosystems. And we will be examining how physical ecosystems foster innovation. There will also be a sharing of specific experiences from various participants. But there are a number of actors already who have signed up, from Polytechnique Montréal, think tanks, as well as digital businesses. And this group will meet on the second floor in room 22, I believe, mezzanine, second floor. After that, we will reconvene in the room which is just next door. So back to this floor for a working and networking, not working, but networking lunch and the end of the conference. I think with this, my role for today is complete. So I wish you an excellent continuation and safe travels or safe stays here in Montreal for your next meetings. I know you have a lot of activities still going on, and looking forward to seeing you next year for the 6th edition of the Canada-Italy AI Forum. Thank you very much.